And they'd be like, babe, look at this ugly, hairy, baboon-looking ass. Babe, look how ugly she is. Look how hairy, babe. Babe, I'm not hairy like her, right? Oh my God, like, girl. Someone on Instagram told me I look like a Dominican Morticia Adams, and I haven't known peace since. Y'all are getting glasses, Monica. You know why? Because we are at the end of the line. This is the final countdown. It's the end, y'all. We've been in a pandemic since March. I'm unemployed. Okay, but let's get serious. My name is Monica. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today's topic is gonna be body hair. Thing that makes some people's skin crawl with disgust. Disgusting. Disgusting! Body hair is one of those things that triggers such a visceral reaction in many. Out of all the weird things I've done in my life, that's still the thing that people, years, we got like, how long have I been on Instagram? Since 2013. We are in 2021. I can't do math. When was the last time I did a math problem? That's 8 years. I'm getting old. 8 years strong, people are still feeling attacked by what I choose to do with my body, people that I don't know. I have such a tumultuous relationship with body hair, so I wanted to get into it. I wanted to talk about my experience with it as someone that's very hairy, and not on some like, let's love ourselves, and then, you know, you lift your armpits and there's 3 wisps of blonde hair, as some of y'all like to do, which, beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that, but like, this is where the tea's at, right here. If y'all could see my legs in their full glory, you would be like, girl, go see a doctor. And I'd tell you, hey, it's genetic. I don't think I have PCOS or anything else, because this is just the way that I am. It's a lot. She has a wig on. It's not the best wig ever. It's synthetic. My hair is growing out. I had a buzz cut back in March. And I've been growing it out since, and it's not going well. So you're just gonna have to put up with this, and you can't complain. Okay, so let's get into it. My relationship with body hair has always been a really fraught one, a really difficult one. I didn't really realize I had body hair until one time. I think it was like after summer camp. I was like, whoa, when did that get there? I think it had been there already, but like, you know, I was in middle school, tween, and I think it just hit me. Who put that there? Or society hit me. No, but for real, you go from like this innocence to this hyper awareness of your body in that sense, in like a do I fit in kind of way. I was always awkward and like cute. I was never like hot. I think that's why I'm wearing the wig. I want to feel sexy. I've never been sexy. I've always been like, oh, she's so cute. I'm laughing, but I'm crying inside. But I've never really, like, you know, I was lanky and underweight and like had anemia, and I was really hairy, and I had braces, and I used to wear glasses that were like, you know, like the square ones, and I used to wear headbands, and all of my pants were high waters, and I only wore Payless shoes. I never really felt good about myself. I never really felt like I fit in. I always wanted to be like the other cool girls that were like hairless and effortless and stylish. If you're the weird one, it's good. It worked out for me. I'm in a very, very happy place today. I'm very happy. I mean, I don't want my kids to go through anything that I went through as far as like doubting who they are and like self-esteem and all that. But it's my spark. My trauma is my spark. But anyways, all of this is a construct. Let's just get straight to the point, because some of y'all are watching this and you're like, get to the point, sis. Tell me what to do. All of this is a construct. I'm a Virgo with like several, sorry to get into astrology. I'm a Virgo with so many Capricorn placements. I'm all about reality. I love things that are concrete. I love things that are actual, practical. So like, yes, I understand that certain things have their place. There's certain reasons why we do certain things, cultural reasons, whatever. Body hair to me is one of those that while I understand it aesthetically, that smooth, sleek look. In every other way, it's a super construct. And it's fine if that's something that you want to partake in. But also, it should be fine if you don't want to partake in it. Because I think that's where the issue lies, is the fact that if you choose to not participate in this societal activity that every woman must do, there comes a time in every woman's life where she must wax her cooter. If you choose not to participate in that rite of passage, then you're othered, or you're seen like, oh, she's that quirky girl that chooses. Like, I've been stopped in the middle of the street, like, hey, you're that girl on Instagram with the hairy armpits. And let me tell you, it's not nice. It doesn't really do much for me, because what do we build from there? Like, oh, yes, I am. They're there. Here they are. Did you want to see them in person? And that was a woman, by the way. I don't know what she thought she was doing for me for the cause. But so let's get into some history. History, I always loved looking into, like, why or when, at least in American culture, people started shaving, because that's kind of how I made sense of things. Like, going back to, like, the act of shaving for me being very absurd. It's absurd for me, and I understand that my experience with it and my relationship to it is very different than a lot of people. For me, it's very absurd because there's no fooling anybody. Who am I fooling? The amount of body hair that I grow, it's just never ending. It never ends, and it's all over. It's all over. It never ends. Like, I shave at 8 o'clock in the morning. By 3 p.m., I have fuzz again. I have stubble. I shave and I get ingrown hairs. I shave and I get rashes. I shave and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. I actually sweat more. I feel like I smell more when I'm shaving. I chafe. Sometimes I do like looking smooth, but it's something that it's a never ending. It's on some, like, Sisyphus type beat. I'm still pushing up that boulder every single day. I'm still shaving. It grows back. I shave and it grows back. I shave and it grows back. I shave and it grows back. It never ends. It never ends. It never ends. And I can't fool anybody. And it's all over. Have you ever tried to fade your stomach hair to your back hair? You're just there trying to do a gentle fade in the bathroom, and you've been there for an hour because you have to shave basically from the neck down, but you don't dare shave your back because I know I'm gonna miss a spot. I'm gonna miss a spot. I never shave my back for that reason. And if you've ever had the luxury, the privilege, the gift that it is of seeing my luxurious back in all its glory, don't tell me what you saw. Please don't tell me what's back there. Please don't tell me if I was able to correctly fade, the stomach to the butt to the back. Like, we don't need to get into it. I don't need to know about it. You don't need to tell me what you've seen, because it's not going to do anything for us. Point being, shaving is absurd for me because it hurts. It hurts. I'm never gonna, it's just never ending. I feel like it also just goes hand in hand with, like, the curse of being alive. It's just like, I need to get up and pee every single freaking 3 hours to the day that I die. It just never ends. It's like, I'm supposed to shave every single day?
Yeah, Drake!
Every single day. For some of y'all, I know that's not your experience. You shave and, it looks good for a day or 2 or 3. For some of y'all can wax. I can't wax. If I dare to wax, the freaking abscess that would grow in my groin, like, the mountain of ingrown hairs that I would get. My hair grows in ingrown hairs. The moment I shave, it's just like, hey, are you ready for at least a dozen ingrown hairs within the first day? And I'm just like, okay, fine. That's why I've never dared to wax. I've considered laser hair removal just to reduce the amount of hair in my legs and stuff like that, so it's like a little bit easier to shave, because, like, honestly, it's a lot. Shaving was a construct. Okay, for me, here's the issue that I have. I can't even get into the history. It's a construct. Gillette did it. Gillette was just like, let's make women shave too. So then we got double the people to sell to. Not only men, women too. Everybody got to shave. They made a profit. That was part of the scheme. Also, they were transitioning from, like, their big Victorian gowns, turtleneck and ankle length dresses. And then everybody said, "Oh, I want to show a little shin." And then they were like, "Hey, something that, other people aren't telling you about, but you should probably worry about your leg hair and your armpit hair." And everybody was just like, is this true? Is this really something to be embarrassed about? Advertisement like created a fake insecurity. And back then, it's not like you could text a group chat and be like, hey girls, how do we feel about this ad? It's not like you can go on Reddit and be like, yo, is this ad for real? Are y'all insecure about this hair too? Because I've never even noticed it because I am a fucking Victorian ass woman who has never even seen my own ankles. But no, they were like, you gotta shave. Everybody's embarrassed. Everybody's looking at your armpits. And do it or else you'll be ugly. And then everybody was like, I guess I gotta shave. And it's not like you could talk to your man about it. Hey, hubby, how do you feel about it? Because you would get locked up for hysteria and sent to a psych ward if you experience any symptoms of restlessness, sweating, heart palpitations, sexual frustration. They were just like, you know what time it is for you? Psych ward time. So it's not like you could have an open and honest conversation with your lovely husband about your own body. So you know what everybody did? They said, hey, let's shave. And then apparently in World War II, when like the rations for like military equipment came through, and they were like, we must be patriotic and we will save all of our stockings, all of our nylon and silk for parachutes for World War II soldiers. And then they were like, all right, what are we going to do about our legs now that we're showing them? And then they were advertising, apparently they were like advertising like leg paint, like for you to paint your legs. So it would still have like that like smooth appearance of like a stocking. But they were like, yo, it's kind of hard to get the leg paint on the leg if there's hair on the legs. And then they just started shaving the legs. The point being, it's kind of all a construct. And I understand that it does have like a certain kind of beauty to it. But for me, a lot of that is rooted in a lot of problematic things that I don't have the vocabulary or the degree to discuss. I haven't read the proper books, y'all. But let me tell you what it's based in. You would be seen as a savage, as disgusting, as unhygienic, as animalistic. Some of us can't help it. Some people are genetically not very hairy. Some people are. What you want me to do about it? Am I savage? Am I more disgusting than you? Some people are like, in my country, we're supposed to shave. It's just like, bitch, in my country, no one shaved because we didn't have razors. My grandma was like, yeah, none of us used to shave because we lived in the mountains. Like, what were we supposed to do? Like, are they disgusting? But I think it's rooted in this, like, desire to, like, refine, you know what I mean? Whatever that means, like, the human experience and to pretend that things that are there aren't there. Like, it's there. And, of course, you can choose to take it away. It's totally fine. But it's like, let's not relate the act of choosing not to take it away to savagery, to disgusting, to unhygienicness. Because in reality, for me, it's more hygienic to not shave. Because you know how disgusting it is for me to have a fucking whole pubic area full of ingrown hairs? I've been there. That was my teenage years. And let me tell you, that wasn't fun. It itches. It scars. It's bumpy. It like everything looks disgusting and it itches and it hurts. So what do you want me to do with that? But like realistically, everybody's just like, you stink. It's like, sis, you have hair on your head. You wash it. Do you ever enter a room and everybody's like, oh, your head stinks? Like, that would be concerning because you wash your head. Like, your arm hair. Does your arm skin ever just stink? And yes, okay, maybe you feel like you might smell more when you have armpit hair, but sis, that is on you. I don't know what to tell you. For me, I find a lot more comfort. I don't chafe whenever I don't chafe as much whenever the summer comes, and then I do my little trimming. That's when I start to chafe. That's when I start to get cysts in my armpits from the deodorant. Even though I use natural deodorant, I get cysts in my armpits sometimes when I trim and I would exercise because the constant moving and the rubbing and the hairs and all this. With armpit hair, it's so much more comfortable. Also, I find body hair hot. Like, I don't know what you want me to do with that information. Like, shaving is cool too, but it's just like, for me, if I see someone body hair, I'm like, we are aligning mentally. We're on the same page. I feel that body hair is there for a reason. It's protective. It's a barrier between the outside world and your skin and your insides. I prefer body hair down there too. TMI. You're much more protected. You're not having like fresh skin with a bunch of micro cuts, absorbing another person's fluids, allowing you to get like certain infections much easier. Also, it creates great friction. It protects you against chafing because because if both of y'all shaved and stubbly, you know what y'all about to get? Like a freaking exfoliant. Y'all are exfoliating. Y'all just did an apricot scrub on your groin area, and then y'all both red and itchy, and then you're like, why do I have ingrown hairs and scarring? It's because you're both chafing together. It's like you guys are playing the maracas together. That's what's happening. So a little bit of body hair helps. A little bit of fuzz helps ease, like, protect that skin. It's a lovely barrier. I also feel that it provides great friction rather than just like slip and slide. Everything's wet and hairless. Oh my God, I'm getting too TMI. But it provides great friction and it feels substantially better for me when I have body hair versus when I'm hairless, and it's just this is supposed to be for kids. I was supposed to be educational. I was like, I'm gonna do something for the kids. I was like, the kids are gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, wow, like I can keep my body hair, but I'm just getting disgusting. Like honestly, it feels better. I honestly feel cleaner. I feel more attractive. I feel a lot more comfortable. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, it literally does not affect my intimate relationships in any kind of way. Because you know why? I don't date people where that would be like an issue. Like I've dated people where maybe they haven't had like dated someone like that before, but it's just kind of like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, oh, that's, like they're the same. Like, like they also grow hair as well. So like, it's not just like, whoa. You grow body hair? Like what kind of people are you having intimate relationships with? I mean, there's some assholes out there, but it's just like for me, it's a great like protector against like the really messed up people, against the really judgmental people, against the people that I just wouldn't want to exchange energy and fluids with. If I'm being perfectly frank. I think for me, what I tend to find really unfortunate is that a lot of the hate that I receive is from women and women that look like me. Oftentimes, guys don't really like comment under my stuff unless they're really, really, really young. Like I've seen on TikTok now that I'm on TikTok, and I'm realizing TikTok is full of children, and it's kind of strange. I was like, when I first got on and I was receiving some hate, I was ready to clap back, and not like on some hate, like because that doesn't affect me, but just on some like, let's educate this, or like. Oh, you're clowning me, let's clown you. And then I clicked on a few profiles and I was like, oh my God, this is a child. Like, it's not a good look. It's not a good look to be 25 clapping back on 10-year-olds. Like, we're not going to do that. That's not where the brand is going. Anyways, like, I remember one of the things that I would always notice on my Instagram when I was receiving a lot more hate. Now I think it's less common for me to receive hate on Instagram because, like I don't know, the algorithm protects me. It doesn't throw random people in my page. It keeps people that are like you around you, which is good and it's bad. But back in the day, when Instagram was the wild, wild west, and before the body positivity movement and everyone was just like, we can be ourselves. The same people that was hating on me now are like, I am exploring who I am, which is beautiful. But like girls would seriously tag their man. Like they would be like, babe, look at this ugly, monkey, hairy... I'm trying not to curse, so it's hard to like verbally assault myself without cursing. But they'd be like, babe, look at this ugly, hairy, look at this ugly, hairy, baboon-looking ass girl. Haha, isn't she ugly? Babe, look how ugly she is. Look how hairy, babe. Babe, I'm not hairy like her, right? Oh my God, like, girl, what are you doing? Why is this happening? Why, like, what, like, I don't know, like, what, okay, so here's the thing, side note, what are you going through? I need to, like, I want to, like, hang out with some, like, people that leave Instagram or like social media hate. Like I really want to meet these people and spend the day with them because like honestly I'm not saying it because my feelings were hurt. You need to like I don't care what you do with your life. It's totally fine. Hate on whoever you want. Like we all have negative thoughts. I'm not a part of like the type of people that it's like I only have positive thoughts. It's like my mind is messed up. I'm Dominican. I grew up judging everyone. Especially myself. But I just want to know like how are you like just scrolling and then you're like oh like, what happens after? Like, do you just be in the mirror, like, you know what I'm gonna do today? You know what I'm gonna do today? I I've had a lot of coffee. I just like really want to know what y'all like, what goes on in your mind, like why you felt so moved. You know what moves me? Not hatred, love moves me. No, like it's just like like the kids. I understand the kids that are like, ew, you're gross. I get it. You haven't grown body hair yet. That's fine. But like the adults, I get like grown ass women just like, hey mommy, this is what you like. People were doing me on TikTok and they were just like, hey mommy, I got what you need. And I was just like, you have a child. There's a child in your other TikToks. Please go be a mom. Like, what are you doing? Like I just don't know why we are all buying into this collective lie of like how we're supposed to like present ourselves to the world. And maybe that's just me like existing at my little like happy like, oh, we're all body positive and we're the future, like it's like it's just super like privileged and elitist in its own way. But like it's just like why does my existence like infringe upon your right to exist? It's just kind of like the type of people that leave hate on plus size models, and it's just like, how is their existence promoting a quote unquote negative lifestyle? How is this promoting like, wow, this is the end of womanhood, this is the end of beauty, like y'all disgusting, musty, like crusty? I think people think you have to perform for them. They've definitely, they understand on some sort of level, conscious or likely subconscious, that like all of this is a performance. Existence is a performance. Like every single aspect of our lives to a certain extent is constructed, and that's fine. I'm all about the construction. I'm an artist. I construct for a living. I love to create different realities and live within them and see what happens. So that's like fine by me, but it's just like to a certain extent you have to like step back and realize, hey, like most of this shit is made up. Like a lot of this is made up. Well, actually all of it is made up. Or actually no, in reality I think a lot of people find comfort. Here's the thing, actually. Here's the thing. I just figured it out because now I had a script, but now we're just going off the dome. Y'all hacking into what's in here. Click. That was me turning the key, and now I am ready to express. Your existence infringes on their perception of what life was supposed to be like. That you are a threat because they were told, they convinced themselves that this is how life is supposed to be. I think one of the very difficult things of having to contend with in this reality is how meaningless things are. And that's where we're getting into a little nihilism. Actually, no, I'm an absurdist. But it's just kind of like this is all meaningless, but we choose to like create some sort of meaning. And like, you know, even though it kind of amounts to nothing, it's that's the absurd part. It's just like, it actually all means nothing, but still we try. Your existence is proof. When you're unconventional, your existence is proof that there's like this meaninglessness to it all. And I think the way in which humans contend with the meaninglessness of it all is that they choose to abide by certain rules, whether that's religion, something fixed. If I do this, this happens. If I do this, this happens. And if something else happens, it's because I'm being tested. And therefore you create meaning. We want to create meaning out of the meaninglessness, which is this world. People are like, nothing's a coincidence. I'm like, actually, no, if this was all a coincidence, that is the true magic. Like the fact that all these, you know, like things happened, like this happened and that happened and this happened and now I exist, that is absolute magic. I don't think all of it happened so I can be here. I think it all happened and I happen to be here in this very moment, and that is the greatest coincidence of all. But a lot of people don't know how to contend with the massiveness of it all, with how great it all is. I don't even think we can, even in our own small monkey human brain, scratch the surface of what any of this means. And I think that is in a sense a good thing, because what are you going to do with all this information? There's nothing that, like, it literally serves no purpose. Realistically, our purpose is to eat, sleep, shit, and die. Like, that's what we're put on this earth for. It's not to like find the meaning of reality. And that's why a lot of y'all will lose your noggin if you try to scratch too deeply into that surface, because let me tell you, it literally will amount to nothing. There is no finish line. There is no one answer. There is no secret. There is no, you just are. You just can be. And that's the beauty of life, existence. And I think sometimes when people see stuff that's outside of like the construct that that they live within, that they haven't acknowledged as a construct, it is an infringement on who they are as a person. You just walked up into their house and punched their children in the face. That's what just happened by you existing. And it's unfortunate because that's obviously absurd. And that's why, honestly, POC, Black people, women, queer people, anybody from marginalized communities understands this to a certain extent because we've had to be the other. We know that like the way in which we see the world doesn't fit into like the big picture. But for a lot of people, they think that their life is the big picture. So when you do something that like kind of like messes up their vision a little bit, or it's kind of traumatizing for them. They're just like, now women have armpit hair, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, it's just kind of like, now women have armpit hair, disgusting. It's just like it's like shocking. It's nothing you've ever seen before. Oh my God, I'm so inspiring. I'm kidding, by the way. I'm making it sound like I'm Rosa Parks, y'all. Like, I'm like, my armpit hair. But like, no, this is literally not about me. I think that's why I never took the hate personal, because for me, it is fascinating how this very simple decision for some people is the straw that broke the camel's back. It literally has them in their basement losing their damn minds. Like, for some people, like, the way in which it affected me growing up as a child, it took me out of my, like, inside of my head, like, that, like, innocence and that purity of existing and being, and freaking dragged me by my edges outside of, like, the oneness of the beingness, and made me hyper aware of the way in which I navigated the world, the way in which people judge me, the way in which people would use me, the way in which people would abuse me. Like, and like, obviously it's more than body hair. It was a bunch of other things that like added into this, like, you know, whole breakdown of like going from like I can be to oh my God, the whole world's watching me and caving in upon yourself. But let's dial it back. That's why I find it fascinating. And I think it says a lot more about the lie that we've been sold. I think that's why a lot of people have such strong reactions to when they see queer characters in movies, or when they see Black characters in movies, or when it's just kind of like, well, not every superhero needs to be a woman, and not every superhero needs to be Black. You know, it's just like a lot of people see this as like some like liberal agenda, but it's just like, you've just never really seen that before, and it goes against what you've seen as the norm. And like, whiteness has a neutrality. There's so many things that it's just viewed as a story. It's just viewed like, oh, this is just a story about love. But when it's like a Black person, it's like, oh, this is a story about Black love. And it's just like, do Black people experience love in a different way? Yes or no? It's a universal experience, y'all. Like, yes, there's other things that inform the way in which this love may be expressed due to like societal like pressures and stuff, and like the way in which you are perceived, and like the real life dangers of being from certain communities, like, and having certain backgrounds. But that has more to do with the world that you live in, and has nothing to do with you who you are as a soul. I think for a lot of people, when they see body hair, it's just like, you just like took like their little snow globe. You just went, you just said, and they weren't ready for that. They weren't ready to see that. They've never seen something like that before, or they have seen like that before, and that's the vein of their existence. I think when you're young, it's totally natural and understandable for you to feel fear, disgust, hatred, honestly, we all, trauma, towards like certain things that are outside of your wheelhouse, especially considering the kind of environments that a lot of us come from. They're not very open-minded. But I think as we get older, the goal is to unpack. That's not to say that when you see, like, for example, if you see a person with body hair that you might not find attractive, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person because that's not what you're into, because maybe in your head you're just like, oh, that's kind of gross. But, like, it's one thing to, like, hey, that's kind of gross, but, like, why is it gross? Like, and then just carrying on with your day. It's another thing to be like, you will never deserve love, you dirty, musty, like, like, it's just like, what do you what happens then? Okay, everybody shaves. Is the world a better place? Everybody fits into the proper idea of what you consider a valid, worthy human being. Is the world a better place? No. Because we spend our entire lives trying to assimilate And you don't get a gold star for being the best assimilator, for assimilating the best. No one gives you a pat on the back at the end of, like, when your casket is going into the ground, and they're just like, wow, this person never did an original thing. They never had an original thought. They assimilated, and they never thought outside of the box. What a gal. Like, girl, like, I think it's time that, like, we all, like, allowed ourselves to explore whatever that means. And I think that's also why a lot of people are just kind of right now like, oh my God, like, the queers are taking over the world, and it's just like Hollywood and the media and, like, making things normal. It's just like, no, everybody's been in the crib for a year. You know what happens when you're in the crib for a year and you don't have anybody watching you and telling you how to perform and how to be and how to walk and how you should dress and, like, how you should groom your body and all these things? You start realizing this is all a construct, y'all. Like, I sound crazy. This is all a construct. Join my cult. No, but, like, you start to realize, like, you know, like, I spent, like, quarantine with my partner, now ex-partner, but after a few months of just hanging out with him, you start to realize, like, like, the way in which we'd engage, it was, like, person to person. It wasn't, like, man to woman. It was just, like, literally, I like, we were beyond gender. No, but for real, that's honestly what it felt like. The way in which I moved and existed, I wasn't thinking outside of myself. I wasn't seeing him and seeing a him. I was seeing a person, like, and it was really fascinating, just the way in which, you know, months and months and months of not having to perform for people, you start to unpack them. That's why a lot of people are finding out, hey, I'm trans. Hey, I'm non-binary. Hey, I'm this. Hey, I'm that. Hey, maybe I've always wanted to make this major change in the way I look. Hey, I've always wanted to try this. I want to try that. And I think out of all of the horrific things that have happened, at least there's that, which is the ability for some people to experience, I don't know, it's been too bad of a year. I still struggle with, like, being like, yes, but we all got to be alone. Like, I think there's been way too many tragedies for me to be like, yes, but, like, you know, pandemic 2020, so much growth. I really learned to be my best self. I think I can't, like, there was too much negative stuff for me to be like, you know, but at least there's that. Beauty is subjective. Beauty is a construct. I remember being young and trying to really come to terms with the acne that I had at the time. It was also another major insecurity. I would be on the train and think every single person in that train cart was looking at me, and only me and my acne, and it ruled every single thought that I had as well. And with time, I would see people on the train with, like, you know, like, cystic acne and stuff, and I would be drawn to it, and I would find so much beauty in it. And not on some, like, wow, honey, you're so beautiful and brave, but on some, like, wow, like, actual genuine, like, I would be drawn to it. I would find, like, it would be attractive to me because I felt like a connection to it, and like, I was trying to normalize my acne for myself, so that became normal to me. It no longer was jarring, and no longer, like, and I think the same goes for anything else that we're all exploring. It's just kind of like, that's the same thing with body hair. Initially, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's natural to have a certain kind of reaction at first if that's something that you're not used to. It's something we don't see in the media. It's something that we're taught to take off our bodies all the time for all these reasons, whether they may be real or not. But taste changes through time. Beauty has changed like, throughout history. Like, the standards of beauty, they change from year to year, to be honest. And that being said, you can, you know, flow along and follow trends, but also at the same time, don't put so much weight in things that are so flimsy, like beauty. And I mean, I'm saying that with pretty privilege, and I'm not even trying to make a jokey joke. Like, legit, like, I walk the world with a lot of privileges that other people don't have. All these looks and stuff are very fleeting, and that's why I was saying, when you're in your casket, everyone's gonna be like, wow, she followed all the rules set by society. Clap it up for Jill. Like, what? You know, I think it's, you only get one life. If you believe in that, I'm someone that's like, yo, we're gonna die one day, and that's it, and I'm kind of content with that. And while you're here, you might as well enjoy it. You might as well explore, and you might as well, you know, bang against, like, the freaking glass jars of this aquarium that we're in. Just bang your head against it repeatedly and try out different things, because you know what? The world doesn't end just because you have some armpit hair. All right. thank you all for tuning into this chaotic video. I had a great time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to your mom, to your kids about this. I don't know. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave some comments if there's things that you would like to hear me talk more about. I'm still at the beginning of my YouTube experience, so I would like to know what you guys are interested in. I'm still trying out a lot of different things, different settings, and different ways of organizing the content. I'm not used to speaking in such a long way, and organizing content in this way. That's why if I seem like I'm all over the place, is because I don't have much experience in this. But thank you so much for all the people that are supporting me, and yeah, I hope you guys have a good evening. Bye bye.